So today's session is on Excel plus personal/family plan financial planning. It took me a bit of time to coin the title, but I can tell you what I'm trying to do. Today it's about your personal finance, your family finance. What are those tools readily there in a Microsoft Excel that you can leverage, tools and functionality in Excel that you can leverage to manage your personal finances? So it's not just enough that we focus all the time on corporate finance, on company related stuff. What about our own individual lives? What about our own finances? Are there tools, since it's not like you will have to pay someone on a salary to be helping you tracking your finances, so you will benefit a lot from ready-made tools or some templates that can make it a lot easy for you to keep track of your personal finance, and not just keep track, but plan ahead. Some of you have children that will start going to universities in a few years. Well, nowadays the cost of university is something that unlike secondary school, that that when the salary comes, 1 month salary can pay. Nowadays the amount you spend on universities require planning, and if you decide to send your child outside of the country, maybe you better start planning like 5 years before she gets to the university going age. So in summary, what I am saying is that there are tools that I want to expose us to. Okay, so without taking too much time on the introduction, let's dive into them. So I have created a slide. Let me save it. So I've created a slide to show. Maybe I'm just going to save this slide as PDF and just PDF it to us, so that at least you have something with you all of the time to help you remember what I intend to share with you. More importantly, like all those things that you will be able to do with, well, I can do this later on. Let's go on. So number one, a family or personal budget tracker, like income expense tracker. It is always a lot easy and better sometimes than even the apps we use. What do I mean by the apps we use? I've used apps before, and I've used an Excel sheet, and the difference is this: when you are using an app, you have to create the expense category. You have to, and if anything goes wrong with your phone, or you are somewhere and you are making an expense and your phone is not there with you, it's a lot much more difficult to go remember to plug it in. But when you use Excel, right, you yourself, you will be creating the categories that align more with your own expense types. And so you just have it at the back of your mind that maybe every week you will download your bank statement. That's why some people prefer to use POS a lot more for their purchases, so that they can have a trail. And then, when you download your bank statement, it's easy for you to just, this line, that line was for fuel. You copy, you paste it in your. So, well, I'm not trying to say that all the time Excel is better, but I'm just trying to showcase to us or mention that there are some advantages that you get with Excel that you're not going to get with app. So how are you going to use Excel for your personal budget? So I'm going to show you one that I used to share with people. Let me even see if I have a better version of it. Let me just go here straight up. So if you go to my website, I just want to check if that's the latest. But I know I have it here on my website. And if I go to the freebies, so yeah, personal finance budget sheet. So I click on it, and it's okay. Does it have more than one sheet? Okay, so let me just download this. I hope this is the latest one, but if it is not, I will have multiple versions. This is not the latest one, but it's close to it anyway. So let's use this. The only difference is the new version I did. I created another sheet where you can now at the end of the month you put your final income and expense, so you will now have history. But that one is not difficult. You can do that. So let me just share with you where you can get this directly. So if you go here, personal, family / personal budget tracker, budget and expense tracker, and expense, income and expense tracker, budget. So income and expense. By the way, as usual, feel free to ask me any question or suggestion. This session, we are going to build some things ourselves from scratch, and we're going to leverage existing templates. So let me show you how this one works, okay? And I will not advise you try to create it from scratch. Even if you want to change some things about it, I will say you change, I don't know, except if you are the kind of person that like building things from scratch and you have the time. You might find it a lot easier to modify this. So what do? You say, I want to do this for the month of June, right? June is ended. So let's say for the month of July, I've shared the link so you can download it yourself for the month of July. And by the way, in case some of you are asking, what about the other things in that my website? They are a bit dated. I no longer update them, but before I will try and add more. But you can go and check in case you might see some other templates or things, I call them value pack downloads. So value packed downloads from my website. So this one is my personal website, not so whatever you see there, if it's broken, it is me. You can't hold the company. Okay, so great. If you find anything you like there, exercise workout, savings planner, blah blah, you can. But let's talk about the one that relates to our finances. So you can say if you download it, you will have exactly this anyway. So you can say for the month of, so these are the important places. This, right? Which month you are planning for? What are your projected income? So what do you think you will earn? Maybe from your normal salaried job, you're going to earn, maybe you collect 650,000 a month. Okay, and then you have side hustles. So they might even be fluctuating, but just put what you think is on average, So if you have side hustles, you do a few gigs here and there, and typically they go between 120 and 300K a month. Then what do? You can say, okay, let me just put 200,000 so that you are playing safe. Then if you have passive investments, maybe I don't know what you do. Some people give their money to some people to manage and they promise them some return. I kind of avoid it because you are suffering or an additional of what we call counterparty risk. What if the guy disappears or something? He might even die. Nobody prays for anybody die. You're not going to start hoping that the person you're giving your money to dies anyway. But in case you have stuff you do that you know that you earn passive income from, it could be that there used to be a time many of us used to blog. So me too, I used to blog, and steadily I used to get like between 100 to 300 from Google, So just plug it, whatever it is. Maybe it's on 80K. Then this is a very good monthly income. If you earn this, you are like top 0.5% in Nigeria. Then what about your expense? Someone's mic is on. So what about your expense part? We'll get there. But then at the end of the month, you also want to update what you actually got, so that, remember what I said, that in the end, it might be good to have a trend. So you want to have your monthly trend. where you're going to say, okay, starting from when you started tracking, okay, so the months, your projected income, projected, just like government too. Government will have a initial budget, final budget. So you want to also see how well you're able to predict your income. So your projected income, your actual income, then your actual expense. Okay, so January 2021, and I actually wrote that not at the beginning. January 2021, February 2021. I drag this down. You can even pre-drag it. But let me do the one that will be nice. So I do it up to this period. You select, you go to format as table. So format as table, you pick your favorite color. Since I had used color blue over there, let me keep to the same color scheme. Okay, and then I don't even need the filter button. So you can say, okay, what was it you projected? Maybe you projected 890,000 this month. Maybe what actually came in was 920,000. Then what was the actual expense? So what am I trying to explain? When the month is over, maybe this was June 2021. When the month is over, you are going to take your total here. So month is over, you projected that you're going to earn 930K. So you take that your projected, then it comes here. Then you take your, the way I need to format this. You take your actual. So what's the actual? The actual, let's see, actually good. The actual was 67 something, you put it there, okay? Then your actual expense, what was your actual expense? So at the end of the month, you will see your total budgeted expense, actual expense. So I forgot to add that one here. So you are supposed to have, what was your budget, actual expense. Then also there's one more thing. What was the surplus or deficit? Or so you see, let me just copy it. It says been time of typing. Good. So what this will help you with is at the end, you will now have a trend. There is going to be a chart that is going to show you how you've been doing over the years. Okay, so I don't want to take too much time because there's a lot I want to take us through. Maybe I'll just quickly populate this with some random figures, okay, so that we can move on to the other things I want to build with us together. So I'm going to just say random between 1 and between 15, 67 and 89. Times 2, 3. Oh, that's a lot of money. Okay, good. Okay, great. So this is going to be equal to your okay. This, where is the budget? Okay, great. So your budget minus actual. Okay. So any month you spend more than what you budgeted, you see it comes up negative. Okay. And then you're supposed to also have a column, though it's here, but you might want to also bring it here. So in your budget too, you want to also keep track of how much you are saving, you are putting away. So I will just quickly walk you through what I've shared the link. So those who just joined, let me reshare the link for you to download this. So the link, I'm resharing it. So instantly, how this is computed, is structured is categories, things related to your housing, house rent. For those of you that will maybe own your own business, so sometimes as a business owner, there's really no, especially if you're a one-man business, or we call them independent consultant. Let me just show you on my slide. So if you're an independent consultant, there is your family budget is your business budget, kind of, to some extent. So there may be some overlap, because there might be the money that comes in is not salary, is money from your personal business. But when you now operate in a structured business where you are drawing salary, then it's separate. But until you do, if you are not drawing salary, they're going to be mixed, and you just have to. That's why I put it here. So in case if you don't have that case, you will not need to fill this. But in your case, if you run your own business, there's nobody you are paying salary, collecting salary from, and then blah blah. You get the whole idea. So this part, you all understand this anyway. Then there is the part on transportation. So this part deals with everything that relates to you make payments related to vehicle, you spend money on taxi, on bus, insurance, licensing, fuel, maintenance. And if there's anything that does not fall under this express category, then you bundle them here. Then insurance too. Now this insurance is separate from the car one, kind of. It's a bit tricky. If you decide you want to move it here, then great, you can create a new line and say vehicle insurance. But I decided to leave the car one under transportation. So the other insurance, like home insurance, most Nigerians don't do this one, is health insurance. All of us kind of do. Some people do life insurance, depending on who has marketed to you. But there's also, maybe I should say, home and appliance insurance. So some of us, we have some high value items that you buy insurance for. It could be of a very expensive phone, or you bought a very expensive TV, and when you are buying it, they say, oh, you can pay 5,000 naira for insurance extra, and then if something goes wrong with the TV, they will fix it for free, or they will give you another one. Then our food related, groceries, dining out, order. Then for those of us that have children, or those of you that have children, I don't have children yet, medical too. So all the things that relate to your child needs. Then when you incur legal charges, legal expenses, maybe you have to, anyway, you get the idea. Things related to savings, and also savings for education, so it could be, now when you spend it for your child, it will be here when they're going to spend, but sometimes you might want to save up for it first. For you, for your spouse, for your children, you might want to put money aside towards saving for education, and then when it's spent, it will go into the proper category, or the month that is supposed to be spent. Then loans, hopefully you shouldn't take out loans, but you should. There's a point for it. There's a side for it here. So if you have taken loans and you need to repay, okay, so this will be where how much you're going to repay, and if you are drawing on credit card, and some payment will fall on the other months. Entertainment, taxes, personal care, so you do nail, clothing, blah blah. If you have pets, the money you spend on your pets. And then I had to put this as gifts and donation, but actually too, for those of us that our religion involves paying, should I say, offering and all, you might want to have that one here. So I decided to be not trying to pigeonhole it to one type of people. So before I put church there, I don't know how in mosques it's been done. So I said, let me just take it out and just put the generic term. So you will now go ahead and change and say, okay, this is maybe tithe and offering. In that case, you might even not say gifts and donation. You can say tithe, gifts and donation. So tithe, offering. Then if you are part of a community that if people give out, you contribute, then you write. And whatever it is in your own religion that makes it almost kind of steady, that every month you have to give some kind of donation, then you put the appropriate term here too. So this is done in Excel. Once you have this, you will see that easily you can just open it, take a look. It's not every day you want to fill this. It could be once a week is more like what's more relevant. So you have a day of the week. It could be Sunday, it could be Saturday, last day of the week, maybe in the evening. You will have set it as a schedule that is recurring, as a timer, a calendar invite event that is recurring. And so what do? You look through what you have spent that week and you plug them there. The ones that you can't remember for sure, put the estimates. It's not, the key thing is not so much about being kobo accurate. This is not a company account where someone is going to come and audit. It is to give you a sense of direction as a family and someone who wants to see how your income and expenses lie. It helps you to plan better, and then you will not be keeping money in the wrong thing. So you'll be able to know, instead of you keeping money following the bank, you will know how to properly put money in some higher interest earning places and blah blah. So I'm going to move on because I'm looking at my time. I've shared this to us. I'm going to now go to the next thing on my agenda. So this one we're going to do it together so that it will boost your own confidence in how to build stuffs. Because if you look down, I wrote here, if you can think it out logically, you can track it. So maybe I should just drag this, cut it, and paste it here because it ties more to what I want to do here. So if you can think it out logically, there's a logic to it, right? Then you can track it in Excel. So let's take an example. Imagine that you're on your own, you run your own business, right? Your income, or you're an independent consultant. You could be, even carpenters, mechanics. It's just that most times when we think about carpenters and mechanics, we think about just the artisan. Though yes, it's good, it's applicable to them too. But they are the same way nowadays. We have people who do cake and pastries, and they're doing it on a big level. The same way too, we have people who do carpentry. I have a classmate of mine who abandoned a corporate job to become, in quote, a carpenter, but he's doing it on a level that you won't look at him as a carpenter. So what am I saying? All those people fall in this category anyway. And then what it means is that they have to do their own tax themselves. If they are not doing it, it's not good, because apart from that, government is trying to make it tie things to it. If you're in Lagos State, there are so many things you want to do that they will ask you for your tax card, right? So, and for me, one time I worked as an independent consultant. Let me tell you what an independent consultant, most people don't. They have a narrow view of it. I worked in a company where the company headquarters is in India. Because they've not fully set up in Nigeria, right? They couldn't hire us as local Nigerian staff. And to not run afoul of too many laws and blah, blah, they had to hire us as consultant, even though we know that we are as internal as any internal can be, right? And because they don't have the processes for them to even pay our tax, they are not, they have to be registered in Nigeria and blah, blah, to pay tax and all. So what they did is they have to make our employment as consultant. We have to pay our own tax, pension and all. So when you're negotiating, you just have to negotiate with that in mind, that your tax, your pension, your healthcare, your everything is coming from the bulk amount that you are given, right? So how are you going to do your own tax computation? Voila, let's do it together. So I have so by the way, this is my blog. It has more tools, so that was why this is showing here. So in case you're interested, you see this value packed. So let me just drop the link again. So value packed. I know that Teams does not show new people what has been done before. So great. Now that that is over, LIRS or FIRX, all of them, every tax organization, there's a computation to it. So I like the way PwC has break it down. So we're going to use PwC's breakdown to do our computation, but FIRX too has, let me show you. So FIRX too has their breakdown. So anyone you want to use, but I liked the PwC one is, I just like it. It's a very easy to follow approach. So tax computation. So I'm sharing the link now. So I'm also going to give you the FIRX one. The good thing is it's harmonized. So the same way the federal does it is the same way state government does it. So there's no, for now, there's no worry about why am I using federal if I'm paying to Lagos State. Tax computation. And when you see FI, some people think, oh, that means company tax. No, it's not just company tax. You can see there's a personal tax, then there's company tax. So for you, it's personal tax. So like I said, let's use the PwC one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my screen. We want to create this from scratch ourselves. So I'm going to share my screen into two. I'll put this one here. Then I want us to do it together. So this is we doing this together, and it is simply to emphasize that if you can think it out logically, you can track it in Excel. There's no, and it's simple formulas. They're just 1 + 1, 2 + 2 kind of calculation. So let's do it. So now you want to do your own. I'm going to use someone amongst us. So who amongst us you fall in this category of business owner or independent consultant? Nobody's paying your tax for you. You are the one who will have to pay it yourself. Anyone? Anyone? I will call names. So Temitope Adetunji, Olajide Oladapo. Yeah. Do you have your own business?
No, sir. I don't have my own business. I pay personal income tax.
Okay, from your salary, they deduct it automatically, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so nobody is giving me. So I will just wheel it onto someone and see if I will take someone and say, okay, let's say this person has his own business. So let me just look for a random name to pick from. So let's say Dave. Thank God there are two Daves there, so you won't know which one I'm picking. So great. So let's say my name is Dave. Dave, and we are creating for you a personal income tax templates. Okay, so this is it. At the first level is the money you even earn. What's your income? Okay, so the number one way thing to get out first of all is so the period. Let's even talk about the period, and I'm going to use yearly for now. The truth is, for me as a business owner, it's yearly. Lagos State tell us to file yearly, so it's called direct assessment. So for us, it's not monthly, but when you are a salaried employee, they mandate the company to deduct monthly. So for most independent consultants and business owners, yearly you will file. So gross income, which is like all the total money. So that's why I say if you are an independent consultant, whatever money the company pays you, that's it. It's from it you will take it out, not that you will say that's your net pay. It's different. As a salaried employee, that could be your net, because maybe they've done all those compulsory withholding deduction. You have to do it, and even if you are not paying tax, at least pay pension. You know, you can argue that government is useless and blah blah, and that's why you don't want to pay. But pension, you can't say you are useless and you don't want to pay yourself pension for the future. So anyway, I'm going to use a value. So I don't want to use exactly what they have used, so that it won't be as if I'm copying what they have there. So let's say you're a very big someone, 10 million naira is what you've gotten this year. Now, this is your income, right? Now, there are the kind of reliefs or things you can deductions, allowable deductions. Okay, they call it reliefs here. So they mean the same thing, allowable deductions. So what are those deductions that you are allowed to take out? Okay, so there's a consolidated relief allowance, CRA. This thing I'm saying, all this as it is here, it is as it is if you go to, it's just that I can't find my form. I was looking for it before the session. I have the Lagos State form, because there was one I wanted to pay 3 years ago. I took the form, I went to go and study it because the thing was so long, and I didn't want to. I said can I take it and go and study it myself, and then take time and fill it. So everything as it is in the form is as it is here. So there is the consolidated relief allowance, which I can even show you here. Look at it. It is 1% of your gross income, or 200,000, whichever is higher of these. Whichever is higher, yes, whichever is higher of these two, plus 20% of your income. Okay, so let's go back here. So let's start with that formula now. So this is going to be equal to the maximum of 200,000. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or this your income here, right? Times how many percent? 1% times 1%. 1%. Okay. Then now there is plus 20% of your gross income. So that is, let me just make all of this in comma separation. So what I've done is exactly what you are looking at here, and it's exactly what I showed us here. You can see 1% of our gross income, blah blah blah. So
sorry, hello.
Yes.
I think the definition of our gross income now, it has to be our gross income minus our liable deduction, according to New Finance Act 2020. I think that's the rules now.
So you're saying this has changed?
Yes, it has changed though. This deduction, it has to be, the gross income has to be minus a liable deduction before we now arrive at our gross income. I mean, our now apply the CRA allowance on the net income. Now it has to be after the allowable deduction.
Okay, what is that going to adjust here? Okay. Yeah, I see the one you are saying. It's yes. It's actually here too. This part.
So that we don't misdirect ourselves.
This part. Okay, so we will come back and adjust it. Is this part? You can see 20% of end income. So the end income is after the whatever deduction. So it will give us end income. Then that's the one the 20% is on. But I think the 1% is still on the gross. If this is following the new act you have said, because I can see that there's a slight difference. This is now end income on like gross income here, but okay, we can change it afterwards anyway. So let's go on. So again, it's just whatever logic it is, we are playing it out in Excel. Okay, so you are allowed to deduct for each child. Okay, so it's a very ridiculous amount of money, but it is what it is. Maximum is 4 children, so they allow you to deduct. So you now have to specify the children you have, how many children you have. So to do that, let me just say I create a space. So we can say if you have 2 children, then it's going to be equal to the number of children you have. So it's going to be equal to minimum of the children, comma 4, because they don't allow you to deduct for more than 4 children, times 2,500. Okay, and then what other thing? Dependents. So let's say the people that are living with you as your, is it what they call it or what now? People that they are depending on you. Let's say you have 3 of them. Oh, okay, good. So dependents, relatives. Again, they will not let you deduct for more than 2. So what does that mean? Minimum of the people you have, comma 2, so that it will always be never more than 2. If you have 3 people, it will be 2, it will calculate. So let's see, play out. Times how much they let you deduct for each person. And then pension. Now even this pension has changed. It's not 7.5. Yeah, this is old actually. I think pension is 10% employer, 8% employee. So in case that you are the one, direct assessment is 8%. I think they let you take out. Let me just confirm here. Let me put that your salary is 100,000. Let's calculate. Unfortunately, they didn't put the percentage that allows one to calculate backwards here. Yeah, but it is. I just want to confirm it for direct assessment if they will let you take the entire 18% or it will just be your own portion. So anyway, I'm going to go with the 18% so that it won't be as if you are shortchanging yourself. So you decide to then that will be equal to, so this is again where it is tricky. This should have been, but the good thing about pension is, especially even in developed countries, you can pay that rate. Sometimes it's like minimum. You can pay above it. So let's just take that as our saving grace here, that you are paying it on your entire gross income, not on your base income. Okay, so, and what other thing? There are a few other things. Let me see. There is the NHS. I don't think this guy is covered the housing stuff. It looks like. Does anybody remember the percentage for housing NHF? Nigeria House, how much that one you pay for housing?
I think it's 2.5.
Okay. Okay, 2.5. So this is equal to this times. So for now, let's not too much worry about accuracy for this one now, because I want us to think about the logic of anything you can think of, you can write it out. So I'm just going to total this up. Let's not even worry if there's any other thing we have left out. So totaling this is going to come to, let me put a tick border. Use this one. So I'm going to say summation of this. It gets me my, okay, great. Then this is where the fund starts. So it is in the way this income is graduated, the rates. So if you think about it, the first 300,000 is done at 7%, right? 7%. Then the next 300,000 is done at 11%. Then the next, so I'm just going to drag this next a bit further. The next 500,000. Then after that, another 500,000. Then 1.6 million. Then everything over. Wait. So this one will now be everything above this goes at 24%. So this is 21%, this is 19%, and this is 15%. Okay, so for this person now, who by the time you take out those deductions from his pay, you have his, is it chargeable, I'll call it now, the income that is going to be tax assessed. Okay, so it becomes the minimum of this and this, right? Okay, let me break it down so that it becomes easy. Minimum of this and this will get me what it will be, you'll be taxed on. Then the tax amount.
Hello, sorry. Hello, question.
Yes, sir.
I think it will be best if you can do it on that column, because you know if you are doing it yourself, you won't be doing, like, we are all accountants now, so it will be better. I just want to see how you do the formula.
Okay, I will combine it later, but we are all not accountants, so I share this in a group where some people are tech people. But I get it. When I'm done, I will do it in one column too.
Okay.
So I'll call this one column. So I'll combine it. So let me just first do this approach. Then this is going to be minimum of, again, this, but now not the full amount, this minus what you have taken out already. Okay, so I will explain how it's working so that you get the formula again, and I can do this again, this amount times this rate. Okay, let me just make all of these commas separated so that it will become easy. Great. And then again, minimum of this amount and this minus the sum of this. Okay, I hope it's not twisting our eyes, because remember, it is what is left, the next. That's why it's called next 500,000 next, but you will see it play out anyway. I'm going to then the same pattern, minimum of this comma this amount minus sum of all the already taxed one. Okay, then again minimum of this, comma, this minus all of this. Then it becomes, this one is a lot easy. So it's just simply this minus all of, that's why those guys wrote over 3.2 million, because all of this is 3.2 million, right? So any amount above this, you get charged at that. I can drag this formula down, this times rate. So I'm going to take this and drag it down. So what the person is going to pay is going to be the summation of this amount. So that will be the person's tax rate. So now the key thing is, let me explain this formula that I've just done. This is the most complex of all personal finance situations. Is the tax that people struggle with. That's why I decided, let me build this one from scratch with us, so that you will see that anything that you can break down logically, I bet you can always type it in Excel. You can always create your own template. And if you feel your bosses are cheating you at work, when they give you the pay slip, you can use this. Though I will show you where you can use to calculate. That is much that will show you monthly breakdown rather than this one. But anyway, you can also use this approach. What was I trying to do here? Dave, personal income tax or direct assessment. So saving. Okay, good. So let us start changing things manually ourselves, and just so that you understand. If your salary is, I think the maximum this consolidated relief allowance, if your salary is 300,000, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that means it's not 300,000. It's, yeah. If your salary is 300,000, right? I think it's even up until there's a particular figure that once you get to up until that figure, you won't be taxed anything, and your consolidated relief allowance takes care of pretty much everything. But anyway, what I'm going to focus more on is, I don't think anybody is confused about this part. This is where most people get a bit like, this logic is twisting my head. So let me just be changing this up, and you see how it happens. If your accessible amount is 300,000, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you will see that it stopped here, right? Now, what if it is 400,000? You see that my formula correctly knew that it is the 100,000 that will spill over here. Okay. Now, what if it is 600,000? You see that it maxed out here, right? Now, what if it is 700,000? You see that 100,000 was what spilled over here, right? Then what if it is what will that be now? 5 plus 12, 1.2 million. 665. Okay, 1.1 million. 1.1 million. You see, it correctly maxed out here. So I hope by now you can see that the formula is working correctly. Now let me now go into the formula again. How am I able to make it work correctly? It is this. Your next 300,000 is taxed at 7%. Now, what are the possible things that can happen? You can have more than 300,000. So that's why this minimum is saying, if you have more than 300,000, then it is going to pick the minimum 300,000. But what if you did not even earn up to 300,000? What if that portion that we're going to set on this thing is not up to 300,000? So what will happen is it's picking the minimum of these two. So obviously, it means that it will never pick more than 300,000, because that's the essence of minimum. If I tell you that the minimum amount you can pay me for any job is 100,000, that's the minimum. Even if the job is for us to just open your computer, take a look at it and close it, 100,000. Sometimes you go to some mechanics place and they will say, for them to even look at your car, 50K inspection, whatever they call it. Even if the thing that is faulting your car is that your car battery, maybe you use this keyless one, this thumb to press to start. Maybe it's your battery that is weak, and they will just say, oh, your battery is weak, go and buy. That 50K is gone. So, and you'll be the one that will go and buy the battery, right? So that's the essence of minimum. It means that if what we want to fix is 10 naira, but because you said 150K compulsory, then we'll charge you 50K for sure. Anyway, I hope we get that part. So now let me go to the one where some of you might be looking at, okay, what was I doing here? So here, if you look at, I have to close this part fast now. If you look at it, it will be, if you had already paid 300K, what will be left will be 300 minus 500. Can you see it? What is left is 300 minus 500. That's what I've done here. Oh, sorry, 500 minus 300, right? So essentially, I'm always taking what is left. What is left is your total money minus how much you have already paid tax on. You have already paid on these 300 and 200 above, right? So I hope it is clear now. So that is how that portion that you are seeing me type, that is the logic behind the formula. So with this now, you can always double sure check, if they give you an assessment, you can check it against your own and see, is this person trying to cheat me? And sometimes they will try to cheat you because sometimes they will not put all these ones. They will just, they like to do that. They will just give you an assessment just using your money and consolidated relevance. They will not even ask you, do you have children? Do you have? So you're not the one that will tell them that no, what they have done is wrong, and that they have not allowed for this deduction. So it's nice if you know how to calculate it and you have it. And sometimes too, you can go and check. Maybe this also even applies to your payee. Companies, most companies try to standardize things. They don't want to ask you, do you have children? Do you have dependents? I know some company that they pay, their staff even know it, that their company pays more on tax for them than another company, when they are earning the same salary. And they say the company is just lazy. They just want to do the maximum so that they will not have anybody complaining or government coming after them because they are so large. And government usually, when they want to look for people to pursue, they come number one, So you now can, because it's your right, you can now go back to HR and say, no, you guys are over deducting. Yeah, they will do it, because it's your right. So it's just that it might just be only you they will make the exception for. Then that way you'll be earning more of your money. You can even tell them that excess, they can put it in your pension rather than them just dashing government overpayment. Okay, so I'm done with this one because I need to move to the other part. I hope I've been able to show us, even though this thing I've shown, I calculated, you can download it. Nairametric has been generous to create a template. Let me see if it is here. That you can download in Excel and you can, this is it. So let me give you this link.
Sorry, can you do the single column that you promised?
Oh, okay, yes. Nairametrics tax templates download. So in case you don't want to type it out, at least now you know how to do it. You can download the templates from Nairametrics. So okay, let me do the single formula. So the single formula, I will be doing this equal to mean of this amount, comma this amount, then times the rate, okay, then mean of this amount minus this minus, I'm going to want to do it in a way that I can drag so that I can be a bit faster. Oh, okay, let me not drag yet. So minus whatever you have maxed out here. Okay, then times, where's that times on my keyboard? Times the rate. So here I will do what will allow me to drag so that I can be faster. Mean of this amount, comma, now this minus sum of all the ones you have maxed out, right? Then I'm going to lock the first one here. And I'm going to say all of this times. That's why I wanted to do it breaking down, because even me, I might make mistake if I was doing this from scratch at first. Okay, so this one, if I drag it down, I'll get the same thing. Something is broken. I forgot to lock something. I forgot to lock this amount here. This one too needs to be locked. Great. And then you can sum it up. Control Shift equal to sum. I was trying to use the keyboard shortcut for sum. So yeah, and so this will have been the one column one. But if you ask me, even for me personally, I'll be, if I did this, I'll be afraid that maybe there's an error somewhere, even though I got it. So I kind of like to break it down so I can eyeball what I've done and see if it's looking correct. But this will be one formula approach. Then good. You're welcome, sir. So I hope with this you are clear about you can build things yourself. So now I want to show you the big secret. The big secret is that you don't have to ever start from scratch on most of the things that relate to your personal or family planning and budgeting stuffs. And trackers, that's why I like to use the word tracker, because you can track anything, it's not only finance. You can track exercise, dieting, sports, all. So ready? This is it, the trick, the treasure trove. In case some of you saw my advert where I say I'm going to show us the treasure trove. Open Excel, just open Excel. Go to File, then go to New. Where is New in my own? New. As you go to New, you will see templates. You will see templates, and take for instance, let me zoom, right? Just pick any category. Like for me now, if I pick personal now, since we are talking about personal planning and all, right? You will see all kinds of templates, right? Budgets. This budget might even be better than the one I did. Let's take a look at it. So if I pick this monthly budget, because Microsoft pay people to build this thing. So they won't pay somebody to build what is low quality now. It's not pro bono people are building this thing. They pay them, and it's not small money. I think they pay like $2,000 and above. So this one that looks very small now, it might be $2,000 the person collected to build this. Even me at the point, I was trying to look for where to apply so that I can be building for them. Because that's just, before I'll get somebody in Nigeria that will pay me $2,000 equivalent to do something like this, I'll be afraid, sir, if they pay me, I'll go and keep the money, because next month they can come here and say, bro, sorry, we did mistake. Come and give us back part of the money. So anyway, but this one I don't like. Now my own, I still prefer my own to this one. It looks a bit similar, but that my one still looks more. But the key thing is the fact that if you go here, you see template. So I want you to take a look at my screen. Which template will you like me to open? What do you think is looking a bit like what might be useful for you? So is my screen visible? Let me see if I can zoom it. Windows D. I want to zoom my screen. I'm going to increase my zoom. So let's see. So I want you to, now you must talk. Tell me, of all this that I'm showing you, I think they should be much more visible now. Okay, let me go back again. Which one do you want us to just, because this is the last part actually. So which ones, have you seen something that makes sense for you? Have you seen any template that you think makes sense? Weekly core, personal expenses, calculator, family tree, family event, personal mileage, allowance tracker, weekly schedule, wedding timeline planner, wedding expense. So if you have friends, or even you yourself, if you are doing wedding soon, why start from scratch, for Christ's sake? Why not just come here and pick something already built up? Family events, There's even one that I had opened before now. I wanted to check it out because it makes sense. You know, you can have a calendar event where you just write things that you have for that year. So maybe next week on 13th of July is whose birthday now? It's Abidemi Raji's birthday. You know, so if you are the people kind of person, even the people that message me and say their birthday is tomorrow, I still forget it. So if you are the kind of person that you manage accounts, you want to have somewhere to keep details of those key contacts, your anniversary, your wedding, just pop it here and instantly it will show up. To show up on your, so instantly you will see, oh, tomorrow, so I have an event tomorrow, blah blah. Though there are many things that can do it, I'm just trying to show you that it's also there in Excel. So you see, there are many of all these things. In fact, to be sincere, if you go to Tracker has more. If you go to these planners and Tracker, it has a lot more. So if I go here, I see a lot more relevant things. Invoice tracker, amortization, Gantt, project planner, any project that you want to, because project planning is not just for company too. You have personal project. You are building a house. You are one thing has to happen before the other. You have to do foundation before you lay blocks up until lintel and all. So you know it has to be Gantt chart. It will follow Gantt chart too now. You know, things cannot, you can't go and do roofing and at the same time as you are doing foundation. So you know, volunteer assignments, party planner, if you are the party person, sales, blue mind. There are a whole lot of things that it can track for you beyond just even your finances and on a personal level. Holiday, some of you that you have not taken an holiday, a vacation in the last 3-4 years, then you want to take one. Then because you've not taken one for the last 4 years, then why don't you try and just be more serious with this one and have a planner and plan it very well and maximize it, because you don't know, maybe you will not take another one for the next 3 years. So trip planning, you can see that there's a whole lot, even baby shower. You know, if you are someone who is very emotional about things like that, then there's a tracker for you. So are you getting it? So can somebody just point, have you seen something that you like that you want us to explore together? So we use that to round up the session. Is there anything you've seen so far in all these different trackers that I've been showing that you like, oh, this one looks interesting, you know, Michael, can you open this one? Let's see, you know, let's even see what's inside, how it looks. Anyone? Even weight loss, social media, blood sugar, if you have a dad or mother who is measuring, tracking, doctors say you guys should be tracking their blood sugar and they give her equipment or him equipment. You know, finance tracker. Okay, so David says we should go finance tracker. Where did I see that one? Let me just type finance here anyway. Finance, let's see. Of all these that have popped up, which one do you want me to open now? So, okay, let's say maybe investment tracker. Okay, so this is this one. So this is explaining how you use it, and this will, I'm sure this is it. Okay, so you can say that you want to add an additional company. So I can say I want to add an additional. So maybe you bought shares into Apple. See, once I type it, boom, you know, and then what kind of company is it? It's a US stock. How many shares did you buy? You bought 45 shares, and then it puts the price, blah blah. So this will be useful for you as a Nigerian, because you can't type. If I come here and I type a Nigerian company, maybe I type Dangote, I don't think it will know what Dangote is, but let's try. Dangote Cement. wahala dey. See? How do I? So actually, it seems you are interested in this one. I have something I've built for us Nigerians. So let me just give you that one, so that you don't go and suffer and be using Nigeria, US one. I think it's called stocks analysis. Okay, great. So this one, yeah. So this one has Nigerian company, and I think there's a place where I change the naira to dollars or so. So let me just give you this one. Okay, so I've come to the end, and this is for Nigerians. Okay, so wrapping it up, you've seen how you can do family budgeting, tax computation, and using that to understand if you can think it out logically. You can. I've shown you the gallery, and then you can leverage Excel online. So do the stuff, put it on Excel online or Google Sheet, and share it with your spouse, so that both of you can be feeling it if you want. And ultimately, you can use all these things to track any family project, personal project. That was what I was showing you here. That anything you can track. And so sometimes I go here to just look, and if I see something that is meaningful to me, I pick it. Someone might be like, he wants to have more visibility to his grocery list, to the kind of things he or she buys. He wants to be more deliberate. You don't want to just buying anything anyhow anymore. So you can create a grocery list and kind of brand. So in case if you have help, people who help you at home, this is what you give them, so that they don't just go and be buying different brands for you or buying what you don't want, and then they know what, okay, every week stock up on these items, the quantity, the brand that you want exactly. So thank you very, very much. That's the end of the session. And any question as I wrap up this session? Okay, so no questions, huh? All right then, so thank you very much. See you next week. And as usual, this session is brought to you by UrBizEdge. So we are into training on data analysis. So if you have anybody or you yourself needs something along this line, feel free to reach us. Free to reach us for your training needs. And do referral, give us referrals. Please, you said something business. Something business. I'm not sure I understand. It was referrals. Something business. Or UrBizEdge. That's our company name. Sorry, maybe that's what you meant. UrBizEdge. So that's our company name, and this is what we do. We're into training. We're trying to focus more on training, so that we just try and be best in one thing rather than do too many things. So yeah, if you know anyone who needs training, and that's why we try to do our training in a continuous way, where we don't leave you on your own. We try to keep helping our participants learn what is new after they have come for the training. We support them and all of that. So thank you very much, and see you next week. If you're interested in the Excel session, there is an Excel session coming up almost 1 hour's time, and my colleague is the one handling it, and this is it. Let me just give us the link for those interested. Excel session at 4 p.m. So thank you, and have a nice rest of the day. Bye. Thank you very much.